Well, welcome everybody. This is Roger Broberg, and today is July 21st, and we're going to do business training today. Hopefully we'll have a little bit of fun and learn some stuff, and I'm excited to do this training. So first off, I would like to just maybe give you a brief, let's wait to do my brief story. And let's go out to everybody if there's anything that they would like to share with the group, anything that's been exciting for them this week. Please come on.
All right, Roger, it's Quila. I have a story. I have a couple stories, actually, but another health story. On Tuesday, I was in North Carolina last week and flew back on late Sunday night. Tuesday, and that was a great week, and I never have any jet lag, which surprises me, never, ever, ever, ever. But on Tuesday, I was walking in the parking lot, and it was really sunny. It was like a 100-degree day, and I tripped over a speed bump, and I fell. I fell, and I ended up falling on my left thigh, and I landed on my hands, and so I ended up having to go to the doctor, and it was like black and blue, and she goes, I just don't understand how you didn't break anything. She goes, you fall into the category of being European descent, and my bones are tiny, and I should have osteoporosis because I'm 58, all this stuff. And it was amazing because within 48 hours, all my bruises were gone. And I went back and she's like, what happened? And I said, well, this is this. And anyway, so now the doctor is very interested in getting in the relib because of that. And then just shared a boatload. It's so easy to share relib when we're out with people, just listening to what they need. And back in North Carolina last week, going to gymnastic practices with my granddaughters and listening to people and talking to them. It's so fun to share, and we've just got some really strong leads from all of that. So it was a great week.
Well, that's awesome, and I'm sorry that you had to fall to get the lead of the doctor, but what an incredible story.
It'll be worth it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That is so cool. And congratulations. Thanks, Quila. Who else would like to share?
This is April.
Hi, April.
This week I was looking through Facebook and have been kind of, over the last, actually few weeks, have been noticing some postings of an aunt. I haven't been particularly close to her or her kids for a number of years, but they were talking about how she's, in the hospital. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. And finally, my cousin posted something saying, does anyone have any ideas? My mom has been sick. She'll be walking along, be just fine, and all of a sudden just collapse, and she, they can't figure out what's wrong with her. She'll be in the hospital a couple of weeks, and then she'll be fine. And this has wrote over and over again since February, and here it's now July, and they're at their wits' end. They've been to 3 different hospitals, multiple doctors, multiple tests. And so I was able to message her and to say, it's been a long time since we talked, but I'm so, so sorry to hear about your mom. Here's an idea. There's some, really high quality supplementation that has made a huge difference for a lot of people who have been in very difficult situations. And, the doctors don't really even need to know what it is. If this could even partially help her toward getting better, because what she needs is to get a really strong immune system, then maybe this could be something to take a look at. She's like, oh, yes, thank you so much. So I'm going to connect her with a call today and just, put it out there and say, I can't promise it's going to help, but if it were my mom, man, I would be doing everything I could to try to help her body fight whatever this is going on. So it was good to connect. It was good that she could tell my sincerity, about really wanting to help.
Awesome. Well, and that's what it takes, is planting that seed and then, following up later on and continuing to talk to people because, you're reaching out first off, and second off, people are watching you, and they want to know if it's just a fluke that you're doing or if you've been on this for a while and you really, truly are going to stick with it. So, awesome.
Good morning,
Thanks,
Roger.
April.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi.
Sandy Sopko.
Who is this? Oh, hi, Sandy.
Yes. I have an energized story, another one, actually a lot of things going on, but I always make up the 8-ounce water bottles and put a scoop of Energize in, and I call it shameless promotion of Energize and the benefits of the hydration and why we need it. But I was doing a class presentation this week at a community for independent seniors, and it was why we need to supplement and, you know, filling in the gap. And I always take the Energize, and I actually ended up with 14 people, and 2 came back for the second time. They had been to one I had done before because they just wanted to hear more because they just couldn't take it all in. And so we did get somebody started, and there's probably about 3 or 4 others, and schedule appointments just from doing this on a regular basis every month as much as I can to get in to do a presentation to talk about why we have to supplement. And I take Relive Energize everywhere, and somebody said, oh my gosh, I had forgotten that you had this. My husband has Lewy body, and she needed to have it. And then a doctor was speaking on dehydration at another community, and I attended the next day and took them the Energize, and I'm going to have an appointment and do an in-staff presentation because it's only 25 minutes, and do like a lunch and learn for them. And he does the outreach and goes in to see patients, and he's very open to looking at the product for the patients because it's such a big problem, the dehydration.
Well, that's awesome, and that's a super great reminder about how incredible Energize is and how it helps to hydrate the body. And as you were talking, I was thinking about what I'm doing right now is as part of Fit3, and then also with my wife's work, doing some health fitness challenges and stuff. And the challenge that they had at her work this last week was to drink half of your body weight in water and do that every day for 5 days. And that can be quite a challenge. And even with Fit3, I mean, we're supposed to be anywhere from 80 to, 70, 80 ounces of water. And this past week, I've been drinking 96 ounces of water. And some of that has been with Energize. And as I'm thinking about this, I thought, I'm out on a truck and delivering and running around all the time, and it's hard to get to a bathroom sometimes. And so with drinking that much water, you're needing to visit the loo quite often, but it didn't seem like it was nearly as much as it probably would have been without having that Energize in my body. So good reminder. Thank you. Anybody else like to share?
Roger, this is Luann. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great, Luann.
I love the Relive community. When we're helping other people, we have so much help from others, and so I really love that because not only am I teaching someone else, but I'm learning also from the others that are helping me. This last week, I had a appointment set up with one of my mom's aides that comes in and helps her. She wants to learn more about the business. And so as it turned out, they were giving her more patients. So every time she was to come and learn, more about Relive, she got another patient. And so it wasn't happening. But I had set appointments with a lot of Relive distributors. And so they were very flexible because I was texting them and they were saying, and trying to make this all work. And so finally, when it just wasn't going to happen for the second time because of extra patients, I kept the appointments, and we just went in her voicemail because she had specific questions about certain things. And so certain ambassadors and Relive distributors had, said they would help and give that information. And so we did that, and so she got it all in her voicemail, and then we'll have the meeting otherwise. But, as I'm talking to each of these special people that have decided to help me to teach Laura, it's like I learned so much from each of them. And I think these, the three-way calls and those connections, we do a lot by texting and everything, but those connections, those personal connections, whether it's teaching someone, new or whether, we're talking to another, distributor that's been in Relive for a while or new or whatever, I always learn so much, and so I'm grateful for the Relive system and, that the many aspects that it has for us to help other people.
For sure. And just before this call, I was helping a Relive distributor with a call, and that connection, it seemed like that I had a good connection with the gentleman that I was speaking to, and I think that I connected with the things that he was having questions about, and I hope it was beneficial, but I think that connection is super important. So thanks, Luann. All right, well, I think we're going to go ahead and get started unless there's just someone else that has one more thing. Julie says yes, it was Julie that I was helping on the call, and it was a fun call to do. Thanks, Julie, for asking me. If there's nobody else that has anything that they wanted to share, then I think we'll go ahead and get going. So, how do you succeed with Relive? We have a circle of success with 5 different steps, actually 6 if you count follow-up. That's a fundamental thing that we do on a daily basis. And the Relive system, the business cycle there, that helps us. But the fuel to our business is those new people. And so this circle of success to identify, connect, share the story, ask for the decision, register and go, these are all the daily fundamentals. So now we only get paid for helping people, not for showing up. Let me repeat that. We only get paid for helping people, not for showing up. So we've got to reach out to people, help people, just like what Quila did. When she was back east, she was able to talk to people at her granddaughter's sporting events. And even when she was injured and went to a doctor, she was able to talk to people. Same with Sandy. She's involving herself with different things that she can do workshops for and lunch and learns for people and getting the word out about Relive. So she's helping people. So how do we do this? First off, we need to identify. We need to make a list of people. We need to write down the names of people that we have that have not heard about Relive. Don't prejudge any of that. Just write those names down and maybe write down a word or two next to them why you thought of them. Because that'll provide, a purpose for why you're calling them when you talk to them. And then start working on that list. Who are the first 5 that you want to talk to? Go to your centers of influence like family, friends, church, work, whatever it is, and think about those things and get out of your house and talk to people, because if you just stay home, the only people that you're going to have the chance to talk to is the occasional solar person that comes to the door, or possibly the Schwann's guy or whoever it is, maybe the FedEx guy when he delivers your Relive. So you want to get out of your house. You want to get talking to people. There was a man here in Utah named Steve Garner, and he used to talk to people wherever he went. He sponsored people from the gym out of the sauna or hot tub there. He had at least one ambassador that I know of out of the gym. He'd talk to people at Walmart. Wherever it is, wherever you are, talk to people. So connect. You want to talk to these people and connect with them. Tell them a little bit about Relive, and your goal is to set an appointment. The guys down in Southern California are some of the best at doing this, I think. And I guess Christina is backstage. I was going to pick on her, but if she's backstage and cannot unmute, and it's noisy there. I'm going to pick on Lauren. Lauren, if you could unmute and come on. Lauren Laird, are you there?
Sorry, I pressed star 6 thinking that I had to press star 6.
I haven't muted anything yet, so hopefully we won't have to.
I unmute and then mute. Yeah.
Okay. So, hi, how are you today?
Great. How are you?
Good. So, I don't want to embarrass you or anything, Lauren, and I haven't talked to you beforehand on this, but I know that at work you talk to a lot of people, and you know, I'll get a text from you and you'll say, hey, is there any chance you can share on a spur of the moment, or, you know, whatever it is, and you're connecting and talking to people and letting them know about Relive. Tell us what you say.
You know, I just locked the dogs out of the room. I just listen to people where they're at, whatever it is that they're talking about. And usually I know that sometimes I'm able to say, hey, you know, do you have a couple minutes that I, you know, could explain a little bit more, and I'll get somebody on the phone. But for the most part, it's just getting their contact information and just saying, hey, I have something that can help you. You know, it's worth learning about, and it's really helped me. And I just paint the picture of what it is that I have to offer, and I ask when a good time would be for them to learn a little bit more, whether it's quick video or setting up another time to call, or often I'll just say, hey, what are you doing Tuesday night? That's honestly my favorite way to invite to Tuesday nights is, what are you doing Tuesday night? Because then they always ask, you know, if they're busy, like they'll say, oh, sorry, I can't this Tuesday, but, you know, why? What's going on? And it's an easy way to offer hope and just talk about this great event that we're hosting, and, you know, a business that I have that I'm helping a lot of people and able to have time freedom and make money doing it.
That's awesome. So I just jotted down a few key points that you mentioned, that you listen to people and what they have going on. And I think that that's really key, is that you keep your ears open, and we've all heard the saying that you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and you should listen twice as much as you talk. And you listen to people and hear what's happening in their life, and you care about them. And you have a bubbly personality and a happy personality, and people are drawn to that. And I think that helps too. So, but I noticed that you said that you mentioned to them that you have something that could help them, and that you're concerned about them. And this isn't about you, it's about them. And then your goal is to set an appointment, and you mentioned, when do you have time that you could learn more? Or what are you doing on Tuesday night? So you're setting that appointment. I mean, she took us right through the steps of this without, I mean, maybe she knows that she's doing that, but that's exactly what you need to do, you guys, is exactly what Lauren does, is listen to people, tell them that you have something that may be able to help them, and find out when they can learn more. Lauren, thank you so much for spur of the moment there.
My pleasure.
Okay. So opening sentences, you guys, I kind of don't like opening sentences. Just be yourself. There's only one of you, nobody else. You can't be anybody else, so just be yourself and just be excited, be enthused, and just talk to people and let them know that you have something that may be able to help them and that you'd like to get them some information. So share the Relive story. And we can do this in a lot of different ways. We can do it, you know, in person is always best. But if you can't be in person, then you can do online, over the phone, send them an opportunity book. You can have them go online and pull up the opportunity slides and talk to them. You know, something that we did at our last meeting, it was last Thursday, was we didn't have any guests, and so we had one of the people in the room do the presentation that hadn't done it really before. And then we watched Tom Pinnock's presentation. And if you guys have not seen that presentation, take 20 minutes today and watch that. He does a phenomenal job on that presentation. The feeling and the enthusiasm and the excitement in that presentation is incredible. And it's a perfect thing to send out to people. Hey, watch this. I think it was only 20 minutes, maybe 25 at the most, even with the videos. And, you know, easy for a way to introduce people to it. Robert says he really does a great job, or does it a great way to learn, and an awesome tool. Absolutely. Absolutely. So watch that video, and I'm telling you, you'll probably want to send it out to people. So we want to share the Relive story, whether that's in Relive meetings, events, in-home parties, webinars, conference calls, whatever it might be. We want to get that out. And if you use the Relive system, it's going to help to validate and educate people. Do you guys know what system stands for? I had this in my notes, and it says systems stands for saving yourself significant time, energy, and money. Saving yourself significant time, energy, and money. So use the Relive system. Whether, I mean, if you're all alone in a city, still use the system, because the system is there, whether it's using a video, whether it's using Tom's presentation, or even calling another distributor and having them help you or whatever. That's part of the Relive system. Now, 1/3 of all sales in the U.S. are in-home sales. That's by the Direct Selling Association. Okay, and the reason is because it's fun, it's simple, convenient, it can be casual, comfortable for people, cost-effective, non-threatening, and it gets results. There's a lot of sales that happen. I went back in my notes from the 25th anniversary of Relive that we did in Orlando here 5 years ago. And Mindy Jones gave a workshop in conference, and she was talking about types of in-home parties and how to do an in-home party. And I'll just name these off for those of you that are on the phone. You can have coffee and desserts, margaritas and chips and salsa, mom's, muffin, and tea. Now, if you wanted to do that as a Fit 3, you could call it Muffin Moms and Tea, but you might get hit on that deal. So you probably don't want to do Muffin Moms and Tea. After church potluck, Saturday brunch, shake party, wine and cheese, lunch and learn, health and wellness, Lunar Rich X party. Oh, I just got hit for the Muffin Moms and Tea. Thanks, Legit. Fit 3 party, meet your neighbors party, holiday themed party, a guys getaway weekend. How did that get in there? Okay, yeah, there's no heartburn about the girlfriend's getaway weekend here. So guys getaway weekend would be a really good thing, I'm thinking. So at these in-homes, you could do games, prizes. One of the things that she mentioned was after the front half of the presentation, have the people write down the names of people that they know with health challenges. And then after the back half, have them write down the names of people that have been laid off or have financial needs. And the person with the most names on their sheet can get a prize like a bottle of Lunar HX or 24K or something like that. Now think about that. If they've written down these names, what have they done? They've just started their list, and you can work with them on that list to start contacting those people. So you want, as you look over these things, these different types of in-home, you want to think about what's going to work for you. You want to know your audience and know the time that you want to do these and all of that stuff, and just plan accordingly and go for it. Now let's see, I've got a message from Julie here on the computer. I think there's a way to use Tom's presentation without the videos for people with shorter attention span. That's probably true. There might be a version without the videos or with the videos. I really, really like the videos, though. I got to tell you that, Julie, because those videos weave in some stories as you're doing that presentation, and it catches people's attention, and they may not think about it, but it also gets them dreaming and starting to think about the fact that, yeah, I'd like to travel. Yeah, I would like to get some results with, these knee problems or whatever. So don't be afraid to use the one with the videos too, because it's not that long of a thing. So after you've done your presentation, you want to ask for a decision. You know what? I want to go back to something here. Before we go to that, LaWanda, could you unmute? Or are you on the computer still?
I think I've managed that.
Yep, I can hear you great. So
okay.
If I remember right, are you involved in like a BNI group or a chamber group or something?
I was, but I'm not any longer.
Okay. Tell us about what you did to get involved with that, because that's another great way to get out, meet people, talk to people, get Relive in front of people.
Well, the best thing that I did was to attend the socials that they had about once a month and just mingle with people and ask them about their business. And then after a time, they always ask about your business. And I found it really helpful and, interesting, because I've always networked, even before they had the term networking. Always been able to refer people. And so it was really helpful for me to learn about other businesses and be able to tell them about others that I knew of. And I found it pretty helpful. But there were so many people in our group selling different kinds of supplements that people were overwhelmed. And it took some time to actually have people understand how different Relive is, and being able to share that with them and have them really focus on it. Is that what you were looking for?
Yeah, that's perfect. I appreciate your input on that. What kind of, was it a chamber group, or what was the group called that you were in?
It was a chamber group that I was involved in, and it was a brand new chamber in our area. And initially they were accepting anybody and encouraging anyone, and the dues were affordable. And after a couple of years and the growth, then they tripled the dues and priced out a lot of home-based businesses.
Okay.
But they were, and I find so many chambers are geared for the brick and mortar businesses more than home-based. And so it's a lot of work to have it work.
Good information.
But it does help. It does help getting out there and meeting more people. Helps you to meet
people, and it also helps to get Relive in front of people. I know Jennifer Eves here in Utah is in a BNI group, and they limit the businesses that come into that, and they will only accept one type of business of that type. I mean, they'll only have
Yes.
one mechanic shop or one nutrition person or one garage door person, and so on. So BNI in that way, might be advantageous over like a chamber group. But I knew that you had done that, so I appreciated your input there. That's a great way to get in front of people. Thank you.
Hey,
Even
Roger.
limited that way.
Twyla,
But, yeah.
can I say, Roger, can I say something really quick?
Sure, go ahead.
I've been listening to this. When we first started our business, I did everything. I mean, every single day I was either going to a leads group, there were chambers, I was involved actually in a sewing group just so that I could get out, but every single day I was involved in some sort of group. And, when you look at BNI, they're spendy, but you look at all of the business that people get from it. And a leads group really is, like you said, limited to one. But here's the thing. When you're going to build your business, and it just depends on what level you want to build your business, there are expenses. But the thing is that you look at the expenses that we might have for doing advertising for our business compared to not having that brick and mortar and having the other thing. So we just went all out. And for the first, 3-5 years in our business, every single day, Monday through Saturday, we were pivoted towards Relive. And because we did that, that still pays us today. And so it's just really find something that you like. Find a leads group. Find a group. Get involved. Maybe it's a running group or something. But just get out. Like, one thing I really noticed when I was sitting in gymnastics is I spend $300 a month for my grandkids right now to do gymnastics. There are parents there that are really struggling to be able to do anything. Sometimes we tend to go a lot from the health side, but it's that business side that people really are looking for relief, and they just don't have it. So anyway, that was my couple cents just listening. Oh, and one other thing, when you were talking about the Federal Express person to talk to, we did get a master affiliate from our Federal Express man because he was wondering, he saw all these packages being delivered in the area, and he goes, well, what's Relive? And then come to find out, his wife had severe chronic fatigue, and then she's recently been battling with cancer and a very aggressive form of cancer, and now, she's cancer-free. And you think, gosh, what would have happened if we wouldn't talk to them? You just have to talk to if you want to build your business, you have to talk to everyone.
That's right. Good thoughts,
Roger.
good ideas. The other thing that I was going to say is that my sponsor actually sponsored her Schwann's person too. So that was why I brought that up, because I knew that had happened. But that's great that you sponsored your FedEx guy. Is that Sandy that had something?
Yes, I want to share
Go ahead.
about going to groups. Just on Friday morning, I was going to a morning group, and I was sharing my 30 seconds who I was. And like someone said, there's so many other different ones in different groups that are several companies of nutrition, and it's kind of blah, blah, blah. But what I try to do is share a story, and I just happened to be going to a Veterans Memorial Service right after that meeting, and I said, oh, by the way, I have a gentleman that is Agent Orange veteran dealing with anxiety, depression, PTSD. He is now off of 10 medications, and the best part, he not only has a new life, but he has a new wife, and it was kind of a funny thing, And I actually had a lady come up to me and say, my sister, I want to know more about the depression, the anxiety. She's going through these problems. And it's the stories that I always have people come and ask about what I have. It's not about what the product does and that we're this and that. It's the story. So if you can weave a quick story, that's what really will have people come to you, and the others will not get the same response.
Absolutely. And I know Jennifer has asked several of us to come to her BNI thing when she would have a presentation and to share our stories. And, her business just blossoms after that. She's inundated with people asking her about this and, needing some and so on. So absolutely, the stories are what touch people's hearts and, gets them thinking. So make sure that you share that story with people and that you let them know and that you weave those stories into what you're talking about. Thanks, you guys, for the input. So the fourth step in the circle of success here is to ask for a decision. And you guys, it's something that needs to happen. And you shouldn't feel self-conscious about it or anything. And I've shared this before, but if you walked into Baskin-Robbins and asked them to tell what kind of flavors they had, or maybe get a taste of one of them, and if the clerk just walked away and never asked you what kind you wanted, you'd be a little bit upset. And people are the same way. I mean, once they've heard the stories and once they've heard what this is doing, they are wanting to make a decision, whether they know they are or not. And if we don't ask them, then they're going to leave. And the time for them to make that decision is when they have that emotion, when they have heard those stories and they're thinking about Aunt Martha who's had migraines for 50 years or whatever it is. That needs to happen. So don't be afraid to ask for that decision. Ask them how they wanted to get, or where they wanted to get started, whether it's just as a customer or if they want to have a savings or maybe even to become a distributor and start to share with some of those people that they've got down on their list. Super PACs, great way to begin. Lots of different starting points with Relive that we can custom tailor to whatever their needs are. If it's a person that is excited and wants to get going and get into the business, review the comp plan with them, show them the different advantages of the different levels, and then always ask, who do you know? That's a super important question, and I know I don't use that enough. I need to be better at that, but that leads to referrals all the time for you. And register and go. Make sure you have product with you, that you can get people going, and start them in an easy way. I really love the way Quila starts people. And she was with me on a presentation one time, and she does this. I mean, we mixed up some Energize. She said, taste that. Can you do that? Yep, I can do that. That's good. And then she mixed in some Now, gave it to them. Can you do that? Oh, yeah, that's good too. I like that. And they're off and running. Okay, they've already had their first shake. And then, you just follow up with them and ask them how they're doing on their shakes. And make sure you're not on the phone alone. Always have a story to give them some hope, to give them not only some hope with what they're dealing with, but other stories so that it helps them to think of other people that they can share this with too. So let's see. Same with distributors. You want to follow up with them, help them build their list, help them start to connect to people and get going on their business. If we just leave them alone, they've got a list and you expect them to do it by themselves at the first, probably isn't going to happen. And, they're going to get discouraged, and you don't want that. You want them to start getting a check and get money in their pocket first thing. And like Tom Pennick says, if they get money in their pocket, they're never going to leave. So get them enthused and help them to build their business, because as you help them build their business, your business grows too. Lots of different tools that we have. The app that you can put on your phone, great tool. They don't even have that on here, I don't see. They really need that on, because that is an amazing tool and lets you know whether they've watched part of the video that you've sent them. You can keep in contact with them through text messages or email or whatever. It's a great, great tool. And all of these other tools are great too. The Lifestyle Magazine, the blog, fit3.com, all of them. The Relive system that's your business cycle. We've got conferences, and we've got a conference coming up in Orlando. I hope everybody is registered. If you're not registered, get registered, get your plane tickets. And Luann sent me a text here this last week that said that the Relive Hotel was sold out. And I think it was Luann that contacted Relive. They said that they were working on getting that expanded and fixed so that there were more rooms available at that rate. Also, if you're going to stay 4 nights, just a little tip, if you're going to stay at least 4 nights, the same hotel, the same Relive Hotel, if you go to their website, they have a deal where you pay for 3 nights and get the 4th night for free. So the Relive rate, I think, was $149, and I booked my hotel after it was already sold out, but my rate ended up being $126 per night if you averaged it out over the 4 nights. So that's just a little tip if you are still looking to book your hotel. Let's see, and you have special events. If anybody's got a special event coming up in their area, unmute and let's hear what's going on. Twyla, I think you've got something coming up, don't you?
Well, we do. It's September 22nd. It's out there a ways, but we're calling it a Get Physical, Get Technical little summit, if you want to call it that. We're going to work out the first half hour with Tina, and then we're going to talk about all the technical ways, people are building their business with social media, make sure everybody's understanding how to use apps and stuff. I think that they're being underutilized. And just go out. It's going to be really fun. And then we're going to have another one in November. And just kind of getting ready to gear up for the good things that are coming ahead. That's very exciting.
Awesome. Thank you. And I assume that's open to anybody, if anybody wants to drive in or fly in or whatever?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's going to be at the Sheraton, the Marriott at the Portland Airport.
Okay, and you said Tina's going to be there.
No. We're going to work out with her. We're going to do a video with her.
Oh, you're going to have her on video there. Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
We're going to do a video and work out, and we're going to have some of our local leaders that have just done really well in the Fit 3 lead us in that, and then again do the technical part and just get kind of a little spark into the fall going and getting going. So we're very excited.
Good. Awesome. That was September 22nd?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, thank you. Robert Laird, unmute and come on and tell us about what you guys have.
Hey there, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Great. I love it when technology works. We've got Tom Pinnock coming into town the beginning of September, so we're going to have a special event that's opportunity meeting one night and training the next morning, I believe. And it will be fantastic, and we're aiming for over 100 people there.
Awesome. And that's September 7th?
Yeah, and 8th.
7th and 8th in Anaheim, Garden Grove.
Yep.
Awesome. Good for you guys. Anybody else? Let's see. Julie says, you can send friends to the D.C., Virginia, Maryland area to my house upcoming for Tuesday. Taste and education time, in-home presentation. Awesome. Good job, Julie. Good. Anybody else have any events coming up? Luanda or Louise, if you're on, anything in Washington? Okay. So besides those special events, we have daily activities, daily presentations. You can always do the Monday night presentation that has different ambassadors every week doing the presentation and different stories. You can do webinars, you can do in-homes, whatever it is. The thing that you want to focus on is those new people and getting new people introduced to Relive. Again, we've got Orlando coming up. It's the 30th anniversary. Luann says that we've got on July 26th a shake party here in Orem. That's right. Thank you, Luann, for that reminder. We've got Orlando coming up October 12th and 13th, and that's going to be awesome. Don't miss that, you guys. Remember, leaders go to conference and take as many people as you can with you. That's what you want to be doing. Engage your team, introduce them to new stories, develop your library of stories. You're helping to build ambassadors and relationships. There's tons of Relive calls that you can help people to get on. Don't just go on them yourself, but have somebody with you there, and set goals to where you want to be next, whether it's to become a master affiliate or to become a director when you sponsor somebody, or maybe key director as your next step. Whatever it is, have those goals and have them in front of you so that you can focus on them. And, of course, you always want to duplicate. Once you do something, you do it over and over again. And the neat thing is to help somebody else do it over and over again, because then that's what helps this to spread and to grow, is if you can help your downline and help your customers and your distributors to learn how to do the same thing that you've been doing with them. So, hey, we're even done early, you guys. Go and have a great Relive week, and we'll talk to you soon.
Great training, Roger. Good training.
Great.